This is the big one.
What is up, Chocolatiers? Welcome back to another video. And today's video, I'm going to be covering something I ain't seen nobody cover, and that is Pixar's Win or Lose, the brand new show that premiered on Disney Plus a few weeks ago. Every single week they drop 2 episodes, and kind of just getting you up to speed, because I'm sure, like I said, I haven't seen nobody talk about it. I'm sure most people don't know about it. Pixar announced this show a few years ago, and it was kind of like in limbo. It was weird. And so I expected it to be bad, but it's not. And basically in this show, you follow this group of softball players going all the way up to their championship game. So basically I had a few favorite episodes. And so in one of them, I'll focus on one of the kids, because a few of them focus on some of the adults that are parents to the people on the team. So one of them, you have this girl who pretty much is becoming the parent of the household, because her mom is like always on social media. She's going out late at night, stuff like that. And actually, I'm going to use these 2 episodes because they're back to back to show you guys how awesome the show is. So, this whole time in the background, whenever we've seen other characters in the show do stuff, we've seen their characters, right? And so, like I said, they get an episode, stuff like that. And so they change the animation style slightly of each episode to highlight the character that you're following. So, for example, in this character, she grows super tall and big like an adult because she's taken on the role of the parent, okay? And so it's very powerful when you see this stuff, and it works really well, especially since it is animated. And so, long story short, by the end of the episode, she ends up trying to sell these shoes to these people, and she gets in a lot of trouble, and just bad shit just happens. And that's the main thing of this show, too. Each episode ends very sad, or like kind of down and out, right? Leading you up to this finale that's trying to wrap this all up, which it does do so in a nice bow. And so, anyways, after that episode, the very next episode shows the mother's perspective. And it shows how actually, even though the daughter sees herself as being the parent, for example, when the mom is going out late at night and she's like, okay, watch your baby, this and that, in her perspective, it was just quick. It's like, damn, I gotta be babysitting my, taking responsibility because she's going out partying, whatever it's that. She's actually not. She's going to Uber. She's going to try to do other jobs and stuff so she ends meet for her family, but she doesn't want to tell the daughter because she doesn't want to stress her out. She's already stressed out with a lot of stuff going on with, the softball team and, school, stuff like that. And so I was sitting there like, damn, I was really hating on this mom, but like, she's like a really good mom, actually. She's doing what she needs to do, and like I said, the girl doesn't see it that way. She's taking on the role of the parent when she really doesn't need to. Even like that, for example, the mom, because something goes on at work, she has to leave work early, ends up getting fired for it, but she doesn't want to tell the daughter that. So when she tells the daughter that she doesn't work there anymore, the daughter gets pissed off, but she's not telling her why, because she doesn't want the kids to feel fucking guilty for the reason why she had to leave work. And it's just so crazy, because I was like, man, this show is working for me. It brings out emotion. It's got great character development. Each one of these characters, like I said, like even like the small ones, for example, like there is 2 episodes in particular that I want to highlight. So there's one about the pitcher who's kind of like an asshole, like every episode you see him. And then when you get to his episode, you're like, okay, I learned why you're like this. Actually, you're pretty cool. You're going through a lot of shit that a lot of people go through, especially at that age. And same with, this other episode that actually takes place with somebody that's not even on the team. It's actually a team member's brother. And kind of like gets into, how the other side lives. Like, he's behind the fence. He's seeing her go through all this kind of stuff. But, he's her little brother. And at the end of the day, she's still going to protect him. And it just worked for me. Like I said, I keep saying that, but it really did. Like, this show every week, I was getting on Twitter like, man, I'm trying to hear the discussion about the show, getting on, this dialogue, is anybody doing like a week-to-week recap, or like anybody talking about reviewing it, anything like that? Nothing. I'm hearing nothing. I know Disney gets a lot of hate. I know they do, but Pixar, to me, they still got it, For every Turning Red or like a Lightyear film, they've got a Toy Story 3. They've got a WALL-E. Like, I'm just saying, this year we're getting Elio. I'm very excited for that. One of my new favorite Pixar films was Luca from a few years ago. I hate that never got a theatrical release, but, it was such a good film. And this movie, or this show rather, I hope gets a second season, because this, like, it just worked for me. You know, Will Forte plays the coach, for example, and he just does such a good job as this coach. And you know, he actually wraps up the series with him having a final episode, and the final episode is him also wrapping up, you know, the game, stuff like that. Because, like I said, each other episode ends on a cliffhanger, like, okay, this is how they got to the game, right? And this is what they're going through. And like just weird episodes, like having the umpire, for example. I was like, man, what is this talking about? This is like episode 2 or something. And I was like, man, I said, this is kind of weird. But it ended up working out. It ended up being so funny. One of my favorite episodes of the season. Like, there's not a bad episode in this show. There's not a weak episode in this show. Each episode does what it needs to do to get this story told. And to me, I will say this, it ends on a good enough note where if it didn't get renewed, I'm like, hey, it showed each week before Daredevil came on. It was #1 weekly. So I think that's pretty good. And I just want to say this. Go out here and support this show. Go watch it. The animators, you know, everybody's all about VFX and animators and this and that. These animators did good, okay? They were cooking, and I didn't expect them to cook. And so don't underestimate them like me. But I will say this. At least I did watch it. Go watch this show. Go support it. It's really, really good. Final score for me is getting a 10 out of 10. This is a fucking masterpiece of a TV show. Mainly because, like I said, there's not a bad episode. Every episode worked, even for the smaller ones that you thought wouldn't work. Like the episodes I got to, and I was like, oh, this probably ain't gonna be that good. Fucking fire. Sometimes better than the episode that you just watched you thought was a 10. And so, yeah. With that, please like, subscribe for more, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.
You're out!
Hey, you'll get him next time, kiddo.
Yeah.
I love my popcorn. Movies, popcorn.